to be in. And I kept pumping, and I was also going through major postpartum blues, and that was a huge factor. And when he did that, and I met people like Sapna at the right time, and I went to my lactation consultant, and she somehow got him to latch. And even after that, his latch was not right. So I had such cracked nipples. I could literally see when I was pumping, I could see blood coming out with the milk. And yeah, so it is very difficult. And I also feel that if a child is immediately after birth is given to a mother uh, for skin to skin, it makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of
Absolutely.
difference.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I totally agree.
yes, and it helps in the latch. I mean, the baby knows how to do that. Every baby is born with that sense, but we, with our, the whole medical jing mang, we don't let it happen. We are some things are supposed to happen naturally, which because of all this doesn't happen so anymore,
So somewhere
especially
you
in
definitely, Hetal, somewhere you definitely feel that there was a lot of misguiding factor here,
misguidance and
and
misinformation.
coming right from the experts themselves. So that is something shocking to
Yes.
know, which
So
also is an unfortunate fact when it comes to not just our country. Even otherwise, we'll see. Okay, good. Akanksha is back with us. Akanksha, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah,
Somehow we
I was
lost
here.
you for a while. Yeah. So we were talking about the journeys here, and Hetal was just who had an IVF baby, and post this whole struggle of IVF, she definitely had to go through another struggle, which was breastfeeding and latching. Definitely. Now we have Akanksha here with us, who is going to be a mommy soon. I'm sure, Akanksha, you must be preparing yourself, for past seven,
Of
8 months.
course, of course.
Okay. So what is it like? Are you really nervous about it, or are you really worried about it? What exactly is going through your mind right now?
I am so nervous because in our Indian society, there's so much of pressure, first of all, to have a normal delivery. And I do not, I like my delivery is planned in 2 days. It's not a normal delivery. And then the pressure to breastfeed, like, if you don't breastfeed, then you're not a good enough mother. And then there's a continuous tension in my mind. Like, I spoke to my lactation nutritionist also, that will I be able to breastfeed, what are the things I should keep in mind, or what are the things I should start eating from right on, so that that helps in breastfeeding my kid. And I had to make them clear that even if it's a c-sec, I want to do skin to skin. And they were like, हो जाएगा, but it won't be possible immediately after CSEC, because we'll be stitching you, it'll happen in 1 hour. So there's so much of pressure, and there's so many things. Someone saying that start eating right, start eating this, so that you'll have proper milk supply, and start eating this. So there's so much of pressure, and
I,
things
I,
going on in my mind right now.
I can clearly see Akanksha is definitely a bit nervous, no doubt about it. I think this
Of course.
nervousness is natural, and that's where we need experts like Sapna. So Sapna, do you really, do you how far do you agree to these moms and mom to bees when they say that there is a constant pressure on this new mom or the mom to be, that of course at the same time natural delivery is something, it's like या तो कॉन्स्टेंटली उनको बोला जाता है, या उनको एक आइडियल वर्ल्ड बना दिया है कि हाँ नेचुरल डिलीवरी है, देन यू आर योर वैलिडेशन इज देयर, एंड नेचुरल डिलीवरी के बाद अगर आपने इमीडिएटली ब्रेस्ट फीड किया है, then you come in that cream category of mothers. You are just so Sapna, you tell me, how far do you agree? Do you really see this pressure, and does this pressure actually has its own side effects?
So Supriya, I think the pressure is on both sides. If you breastfeed, then you hear comments where baby bahut dubla patla hai. Why are you not feeding anything? You're not making enough milk. And at the same time, if you give formula, you're like, what kind of a mother are you? or again, when you talk about birth, no, natural birth. But I mean, there's, yes, there is, we, so I am also, I work with an NGO that pushes for natural birth. But what we say is, informed choices are more important. Leave it to the woman. She knows what she wants to do with her body, whether it's breastfeeding, whether it's formula feeding, natural, C-section, whatever. But put the facts in front of her. I think that is what is missing: lack of information, lack of awareness. And then like Akansha said, there's so much pressure right from right now, like when she should be enjoying her pregnancy. They're like, now she's already,
Absolutely.
worrying about, what should I be doing next, instead of being in the moment. So yes, I agree, there's a lot of pressure, unnecessary pressure. And like in our society, even those who don't have kids will have an opinion. So it's just unfair, I would say.
I
I
think
would say find a way, navigate through it, learn to block them out and do what you think is right. Read up, be informed,
absolutely.
and then make your own decisions.
That's a very important point, Sapna, that you have just mentioned. Be informed. I think that's the key to motherhood and breastfeeding, and I think that's the whole. It makes the celebration of World Breastfeeding Week all the more sensible when the right information at the right time is shared, and definitely we are definitely celebrating the Independence Month, the month of freedom. So let these mothers have this freedom. Let's not be that judgmental. Let them decide what they want in their lives in terms of motherhood and breastfeeding. So, coming to you, Tanisha, because you are right now going through that struggle. So, did you face any such stigma? I'm definitely quickly shifting to this because we are talking about the pressure point here. So, I'm quickly, I'm actually curious to know what is this whole स्टिग्मा थिंग कि आप फीड नहीं कर रहे हो तो बच्चा कमज़ोर हो जाएगा, टॉप फीड दे रहे हो तो कैसी केयरिंग मदर भी नहीं है। तो तनिषा, क्या आप इस तरह की किसी प्रेशर से आप अभी उस दौर से गुजर रही हैं क्या?
To be very honest, Supriya, I think I'm blessed that my in-laws, my parents, and my friends, especially who've been new moms, really supported me. So I had that option, but at the same time, I remember we had gone to take my baby's weight on the third day or something to get the jaundice test, and we found out that he had really lost a lot of weight, and I broke down. And I remember, being at the hospital and telling myself that, do I take care of myself? Recovering from C-section, you're unable to walk. And mind you, C-section is not like, always voluntary. It just, sometimes they don't have an option also. The situation, it depends on the baby's position, like everybody knows, right? So at that point of time, I just felt like, how do I take care of him when I can't take care of myself? And I was giving toxic, so it was more of a guilt trip on my own. But at the same time, when I spoke to my friends, and when I heard their struggles, where I didn't face that social stigma, to be very honest, because, like I said, I had a good emotional support system. But I've heard horror stories, where people have been, saying that why are you feeding top feed? You should not even give it, despite the fact that their pediatrician has said, that you need to. So it is definitely prevalent, and I feel this works now for a woman, you need support. That is, I think, about 50% of the battle won for breastfeeding, because it will not come immediately. It will not at all come immediately. It is very rarely you have. I mean, I remember one of my family members telling me, "Oh, you are not breastfeeding, is it?" I said, "No, I am. I'm really trying, but it's a little difficult situation. We will start somewhere, right?" But I don't let it get on to me. And yes, like I said, postpartum depression comes to everybody. Some people are open about it, and I'm glad people mentioned about it also. I did face it, and it was hell for 1 week. I mean, it was more, like, what do I do? Where I'm already being a failure as a mother. I can't even breastfeed my own child. It was more of
My
a
God,
sort of stigma for
now,
myself.
so that's a very interesting point,
Yeah.
Tanisha. You just mentioned that I have failed as a mother. Now, imagine you have just come out of delivering a baby. There is already this post uh, delivery, ups and downs. The emotions are already, the hormones are different. Your body is going through so much of transformation. Your body has gone through so many changes already. And that at the same time, you're also feeling, am I feeling as a mother? So, Vanita, what is your feedback here? I mean, you have been feeding your baby for almost 2 years. Now, there are 2 years is, of course, I mean, did the doctor recommend you, or this is something you're purely doing it out of your wish? So, yeah, please.
I think it's rightly said, it takes a village to raise a child. Emotional support is really important. I still remember I had WhatsApp groups of moms to be, and we used to discuss the same problems. All of them were going through the same emotional struggle. So definitely takes a village. My husband supported me a lot. He was pro breastfeeding. So I remember that when baby was born, they wanted to give her formula. So he said, no, wait for her to come and then she'll feed. So they had come to ask for a bottle. So he said, no, we don't have a bottle. She'll breastfeed. Just wait for her to come. So he was informed. He was aware of it. So it really helped. So yes, for me, I think it's more of an emotional thing that I've been continuing for 2 years. People make fun of me. My own mom now says, "Leave it. Like, what are you doing?" But then I don't know. I mean, I want her to be herself. I don't want to do anything like kadwa lagalo, kuch ho jaye. I think it's so important to her. I mean, what impression am I giving her, and what will be the effect on her mind if I put kadwa on it? So I want her to be
That's an
natural.
interesting
That okay, she said, okay, I'm
That's an
done now.
interesting point. I think that's exactly what World Breastfeeding Week is all about. It's more about the bonding of mother and the baby. Sapna, I'm sure you would echo to what Vanita just said, that sometimes the bond, over this period the bond becomes so strong that it once the latching is done successfully, once the baby, it's a struggling process for the babies as well, I'm sure. Sapna, as an expert, would definitely agree to this. So it's it's not just a one-way process; it's a two-way process. So for a mother, the guilt are it's like a double a double dose of emotional ups and downs, because they can see their own baby struggling equally hard. So Sapna, what would you like to say here?
So, I would echo what Vanita is saying because I have breastfed for 3 years myself. So, and I know there are a lot of mothers who breastfeed for, around 5 to 7 years. So, which brings me to say that the average weaning period across the world is 3.5 to 7 years. So, if you're going to wait for your baby to self wean, that's how long they're going to take, because that is when they're going to be ready, and satisfied, and, they've enjoyed their journey, and then they will be ready to let go. But there's always this pressure, ladka hai to chhodega nahi, so start weaning from 1 year, and how long can you breastfeed,
Okay.
so so I mean the pressure is just too much. And even if I would take my own experience, after I breastfed for 3 years, I was upset that she let go. I started running behind her, come breastfeed, what are you doing? So it was literally like that, so that's what happens. I mean, like you said, it's a very beautiful bond. It's emotionally, it's very satisfying. And also, it also helps with PPD, postpartum depression, postpartum blues, because it releases those, happy hormones, what we call, oxytocin, and it just keeps you happy and, blissful. But yes, like you said, it's important to, cross the hurdles to get there, and then again, your decision totally, whether you want to breastfeed for 2 years, 5 years, that's up to you, as long as
It's
you know what
totally
you're doing.
exactly. Akanksha, coming to you, because you're soon going to be mom to be, do you have any such plannings as such in your mind, that okay, if it goes smooth, well, how exactly you look, how exactly you look forward to it? That is something which I would like to know. Apart from the pressure
Can't
that you have,
hear you.
I'm saying, Akanksha, can you hear me now? Am I audible to you, Akanksha?
I can't hear you.
Akanksha, am I audible now? Am I audible to everyone? Otherwise,
Yeah,
okay, Akanksha, please check it. I think there is some audio issue from your end only. I'll quickly shift the question to Hetal now. So, Hetal, did you have, because you were anyway struggling, but despite the struggle, there was a lot of positivity, with you as a mom, and it was more or less like you were challenging yourself, and
yeah.
you did breastfeed your baby for almost 3 years, if I'm not wrong. So,
3.5.
3.5 years. Okay, wow. So despite the struggle was worth it, I guess, if I'm not wrong. Yes, Hit.
Absolutely.
Over to
Yes,
you.
Supra. It was absolutely worth it. The first two months is what I struggled for. But after that, and as mentioned, yes, it does help immensely with the postpartum blues. I was suffering a lot, but once everything started getting streamlined and when it started to latch properly, it was so good. I mean, you feel positive, your nervousness is gone, your pressure, the tension, and everything's basically gone, and it's all good there. And of course, I was surrounded by people who were very positive, who were like my rocks. So that helps a lot to surround yourself with people who understand you and give you the freedom to make your own choices. There was a time when I had to put him on formula because Kabir had lost 20% of his body weight. Kids lose up to 10%. He had lost 20%. And when I found out, the doctor told me that he'll have a stroke if you don't do something about it. And I just held him and cried for half an hour. I locked down him and me in a room. We were in a room, and I just cried. And that was the day I told myself, this is never ever going to happen again. Something like this is never going. I'm going to work on this, and if I have to put him on formula, so be it. And I did put him on formula. There was never any questions asked. Why? What? You know, whatever you need was what I was told by the people around me, which
Obviously,
is
I think,
very
for
very important.
that point of time, the baby's health was something crucial for any mother, I'm sure.
Yes, and breastfeeding, once it starts, it is very. And also, I would also like to point out there is nothing more convenient than breastfeeding.
Of
Even
course,
when you are
practical. Yeah.
traveling, wherever you are, you want to leave the house for like, there's no packing. I hardly ever carried a diaper bag. There was never a diaper bag. It was just my
That's a beautiful point.
normal.
We will come back to the point, the convenience and, feeding wherever you want. We are quickly going to come to that point as well. But before that, Akanksha, am I audible to you now?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, so Akanksha, I was, the question to you was that we are speaking to experts here. We are speaking to these mothers, lovely mothers here. But from Akanksha, I'm definitely, apart from the pressure which is already there on you, and I'm sure you're handling it beautifully. You're a strong woman, definitely. So apart from that, what is, I'm sure there is something in your mind that, you're looking forward to, okay, it's going to be a smooth journey. I'm going to breastfeed my baby, say, for 6 months or for a year or maybe for 2 years. So what is, do you have some such things in your mind? Already have you said something in your mind?
I have actually, like, I keep on dreaming, like, like my mom tells me, when I was a kid, she breastfed me for 3 years. So I am like, even I want to do that. Like, I want to breastfeed my kid for as long as I can. And there is, still people like, our society is so judgmental. Like people will ask me like, "Oh, you have a C-sec." Like I have to explain why do I have C-sec, and they'll start asking me, "Oh, you are having a C-sec, so will you be able to breastfeed?" I'm a makeup artist, so they think like if I am a modern girl, I would not like to breastfeed. I'll put directly my kid on a formula because I dress up, and they're like, "Oh, you dress up and will you breastfeed?" It's these we used to do in that age, age as like women these days prefer breastfeeding more because we are educated, we are reading so much about it. Like I don't know, 30 years back, ladies knew what is colostrum. Now we know that we want to give that to our kid, but they'll be judgmental. Oh, these, if for God forbid I can't breastfeed, they'll think that I'm too modern, that's why I don't want to breastfeed. I want my own convenience, and that's why I put my kid on a formula so that I can enjoy my life. But that is not how it should be. I think we women should uplift each other and educate, and
Absolutely.
let each to its own. Like at times you have some medical problem and you cannot breastfeed, so let's not put that pressure. Let's educate and make this a beautiful journey than put so much of pressure on everyone what they should and should not do.
That's an important point here, Akanksha. You just mentioned that every mother definitely has certain plans. Okay, that maybe The mothers are lucky, of course, who are able to breastfeed their babies, as Sapna said, for as long as 7 years. But of course, there are working women, there are practical issues, there are sabbatical issues, there is leave period, then they have to be back to work. So, there are a lot of issues or a lot of practical problems as well. But yeah, as long as you can feed, that's a good thing. Now, coming to Hetal's point, when she was saying that, let it's lovely to, feed the baby wherever, whenever you want. So coming to, this social stigma that we get to see in today's time, we can see the world is echoing the same thought. We can see the uproar all across the world. Women get that stare if they're feeding their baby in public areas. Now, this is something which I would definitely like to know from each one of you. Do you really think that do we really need to get that stare, that why are you feeding in public area? uh, do you really feel that there need to be certain do's and don'ts with breastfeeding? Does breastfeeding need to come with do's and don'ts? Yes, Vanita, over to you.
So I think this is more of an Indian problem. Abroad, women breastfeed anywhere. They don't even have a nursing cover, I think. Even I never used a nursing cover. So this is more of an Indian problem that people stare at you. But I have traveled thrice with her. I breastfed during her takeoff, landing, anywhere. And it was the easiest way to calm her. So I think it's more of an Indian problem. Abroad, people breastfeed anywhere and everywhere, and that's the best thing. I mean, if you're traveling, that's the easiest thing you can do to make the trip
even
easy.
even I think when it comes to India, Sapna would definitely agree to this point that this is something the rural India has never faced. It is
Correct.
typically urban Indian women.
Actually,
So why exactly is that so, Sapna, if I may ask you? You're a certified counselor, so I think you can tell us the tell us in a much better way.
Honestly, I think this is not limited to India alone. You will see it abroad. Women are shamed, when they feed in restaurants. They're not allowed to pull out their breast. I think it's very hypocritical of our society because they are okay with billboards of women in just undergarments, and they're okay with it. But they have a problem the minute the woman removes her breast to feed her child. Then there's a problem. I think it's more because it's our movies and all these serials that we keep watching that have sexualized breasts. Breasts were formed to feed your child. That's all. That is the purpose of breasts. But we as a society, I think we've gone overboard with it, and that sexualization becomes a problem when we're trying to breastfeed in public. Because that it's the stigma, and then you have your partner or your mother or mother-in-law come rushing to hide your breast. People shouldn't look at you. It's sad. But what I during my sessions I always say, who cares? What you do is okay. I mean, if you don't want to show your skin, fair enough. Practice in front of a mirror and then step out. The max that will be seen is like half an inch of skin, and nobody's like sitting and waiting to see that. So just practice and go out, and please do not feed in toilets. Please do not. If you will not eat there, please do not feed there. It's very important. And I
That's a
would say
beautiful
feed
point.
everywhere.
That's Yeah, that's one. In fact, that's one of the reasons there was a big struggle about keeping a separate exclusive area for feeding. Once it used to be like a common area, which used to be in washroom. So not exactly inside the toilet, but the common area in the washroom. Yes, that's a very, very valid point. You need to take care of the hygiene element here as well. So, Hetal, coming to you, you too you shared with me that you have breastfed your child in public places as well. So, did you ever face any such issue in terms of why are you doing that? Or do you really feel that such do's and don'ts are needed in today's time?
There's only one don't that should be there with breastfeeding, and that is do not judge. Don't look at it if it's affecting you in any way. Don't look. Nobody is pointing your face towards a breastfeeding mother. Don't look if it affects. That's as simple as that. Look away. And yes, I have fed my child underwater in a submarine, on
Oh,
the
wow.
water in a boat, in the air, in an aircraft, in restaurants, at parties, at name it, and I've done it. Because, like I said, it's the easiest way to calm your child. It's also the easiest way to soothe anything. If he's cranky, if he's sleepy, if he has colic, if he's just agitated, if there's too much of sensory stimulation, whatever it is, the easiest way to calm a child is to breastfeed. And
Yes.
I've done it everywhere, and I've never used a cover because not just about Kabir, I was never comfortable with a cover because a cover I would always, it would slip and I would have to tuck it here, touch it there, do this, do that. I wasn't comfortable, and I used to wear normal clothes. Uh, but whatever I can either pull down or pull up, and that was it. I've like I said, everywhere I've wrestled, and yes, I've had certain stares and looks, but I don't care. It is my child, my body, my child is being fed. Like I said, if it affects you, please look away. There's a very easy way to ignore.
That's a
Don't
beautiful
look.
point. Look away. Why to stare? I mean, you have freedom and independence. So
Yeah,
it's democracy. You please look away. And
yeah.
a very interesting and valid point. The only don't with breastfeeding, as Hetal shared with us, is don't
Don't
judge.
judge.
That's exactly what a new mom wants. She definitely doesn't want to be judged, and I'm sure Tanisha would definitely agree to this and has her own share of tidbits which she would definitely like to share with our audience. So, what do you have to say to it, Tanisha? I'm sure you're a new mom right now, but you definitely do. You really feel that these do's and don'ts are unnecessary elements which have been added to breastfeeding.
Yes, definitely. I mean, like Ketal mentioned, my body, my rules. It's as simple as that. I honestly feel more content when I'm breastfeeding my child in the most natural way possible. I don't care about covers. Right now, I'm not really, because of COVID, we really are not stepping out. But I have no qualms. If I have to feed my child, for me, that is the most important thing. Rest of the world just ceases to exist. And if somebody has an issue or with me breastfeeding in public, if I do that, right? Well, that's their problem. They need to get over it.
That's a
Simple
good
as
point.
that.
All the mothers are sharing the
And
same point here. Please look away. We don't want your stare
yeah,
at all. Okay, quickly coming to an
yeah,
interesting
exactly.
initiative which Transformative Today has taken. We have been doing these patient review program wherein we take feedback from the patients or the new moms, how had their hospital experience has been, or the doctor experience they had. Like Hetal shared candidly that the first the misguidance, the misinformation was something which definitely played havoc in her the breastfeeding period. So how far, if given a chance to each one of you in terms of reviewing the hospitals and reviewing your experts, how would you like to share your feedback about your hospital experience in terms of delivery and in terms of the information, the initial information that you were given right after the delivery? Yes, over to you, Hetal.
I I feel very strongly that a lactation consultant has to be there in the delivery room, not after the delivery is over, but in the delivery room for the skin to skin and the latching part. It is very important, and there should be, the after delivery care that all hospitals give. Lactation consultant should be a part of it. And also to any new moms out there, I would just like to say, please research your hospitals. We go for the nearest, the most, the renowned, the best pediatrician, the best gynecologist. But we also need to see how the aftercare is going to be, and how woman friendly, how mother and child friendly that hospital is, because it is
Very
very
important.
important, the aftercare, because it also leads, all these stress also leads to a lot of postpartum depression also. Because this
Absolutely.
whole when there is a strong system, the medical system, I mean, you have your family, of course, but they can do only so much.
Right.
You need people who are educated in this thing, in this whole scenario. You need them by your side, and a hospital should do that. I should think just like a gynecologist is important when it comes to delivery, so is a lactation
Exactly.
consultant.
Yeah, absolutely. Vanita, what would you
I
like to say?
like to add,
You, yeah, who was adding there? Vanita, you were adding
yeah,
something?
yeah, I wanted to add one
I think
thing.
Okay, Akanksha is adding something here. Yeah, Akanksha.
Yeah, I wanted to add one thing, like, just read a lot. Don't
Yes.
depend on doctors alone, because no one will guide you the way you need to demand certain things. Like, you need to make them clear that, I want skin to skin means I want skin to skin. Like, just tell them, be very specific. Like, I told my doctor, like, I want skin to skin. She was like, you need to tell that to the pediatric and to the nurse that, don't take the child away. Otherwise, what they do is in C-sec, because we are put on
Yeah.
such heavy medicines, they take the child
Even
away and the child is given
visual,
after
I guess.
6 to 8 hours.
Correct.
That's what has happened to my friends. So be very specific, hold your ground, be clear. You need to be rude and say, I want skin to skin, I want my child. It's okay if even if I'm being stitched, my child can be put on my breast and you can stitch me up.
Absolutely. I totally, I think, agree to you. Yes, Vanita, you were saying something.
I think it's important to choose a mother and child hospital rather than going to a generic hospital. So my experience has been really great with my hospital. There was a lactation consultant coming morning and evening, so there was skin to skin. Even I had a C-sec, so I never faced any such problems. So I think it's important to choose the right hospital. As Hetal said, it has to be mother and child. It cannot be a generic big hospital where you are just lost. So they have to be specialized. I think that really matters.
That definitely matters, and I think
Yes.
doing a good survey, which I'm sure Sapna would definitely agree that going for. In fact, I would definitely ask, would like to know from Sapna. At times doctors, honestly speaking, there are times when doctors say, जो रूरल मदर्स होती है ना, हम उनसे बहुत खुश होते हैं, वो ज्यादा गूगल करके नहीं आती. जो अर्बन मदर्स है वो
Yes.
बहुत ज्यादा गूगल करती हैं. So Sapna, what would you like to say here?
I would say आप information नहीं देते हो इसलिए Google करना पड़ता है. So it's just because the rural mothers don't have access to smartphones and Google. Otherwise, I'm sure they would also be doing the same. And it's very easy to subject them to all kinds of interventions and violations because they will not raise their voice. You have a problem with the urban women because they stand up for their rights. So it always, I mean, it intimidates them, right? And also, yes, I mean, I think I'm going to echo everything that all the women here have been saying, that every hospital needs a lactation consultant. Every woman who's going to give birth needs a lactation consultant. There's no two ways about it, because if you say, there are hospitals where they say, okay, the nurse is equipped to do it, but does the nurse have the time for it? As lactation consultants, we spend minimum 1 hour per client. Does the nurse have that much time? She's going to come, she's going to try to latch, and she'll be like, okay, somebody's calling her, and she's going to say, ठीक है, अभी formula दे दो, बाद में we'll try it again. This बाद में never comes, because
Right.
it's the same loop that they keep falling in, and then the baby refuses to come back to the breast.
Absolutely. And I
So
think with the number
yes,
of deliveries scheduled in every hospital every hour, so I think that's one of the reasons why, this whole personalized thing, as Vanita said, that, don't go for a generic hospital. I'm sure, Tanisha, you too must have done your own groundwork before, going for your delivery. And were you satisfied with the kind of services offered in terms of delivery and post delivery care?
Yes, definitely. I was very fortunate that one of my friends suggested a specialized maternity hospital, and the nurses were fabulous. She had already given me her feedback about that. And in my own personal experience, I mean, I had left it to the doctors at that point. And like I said, because of COVID,
Yeah,
my
that's one of
family
the
was not
reasons.
here.
That's one of the
I had my
reasons why I'm
in-laws, but they
asking you
could
this
not.
question, because you delivered a baby during
Yes,
lockdown
yes,
period.
yes,
So that is something, the audience and
yes,
readers would
yes.
definitely like to know more about your hospital experience during lockdown.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, my husband was not allowed during any of the visits. Only I was allowed to go in the hospital. They had take utmost care about that. And even during delivery, normally this particular hospital allowed the husbands to come for the C-section to hold their baby, to cut the umbilical cord and all. But all that because of COVID was, not there. We were very, very sad about that because I really wanted that to happen. But he was present there, like he was waiting outside the theater and waiting for baby to arrive and all. And even after care, like we had a, I mean, even during the C-section, everybody was there except the lactation consultant. Obviously, now that I know from Sapna that that is also
Right.
important, to be around. Most of the people were around there, and the nurses really took great care. Even when I was recovering, I mean, I could feel that they were latching on to the breast immediately. The skin to skin contact was already there; it was already present, which was very good, to establish immediately. And I think, even though people, I mean, I had a different gynecologist who was going to a generic hospital. I really wanted her to deliver, but I had to do my research. We went to 4, 5 hospitals, even the hospital that she had just recently joined. But I was not satisfied, and I said, okay, a maternity hospital has to be there. At least when I'm on board, I know what is going on. And it was, I think, it was a really good decision because even before, my delivery, I was attending these online workshops through Zoom and whatever. So I had already done the lactation workshop. I had already done baby care. I mean, I was doing hands on. Basically, I used my 8th and 9th month of pregnancy just to, bombard myself from any information. Forget Google. I had my hospital doing it for me.
So
So it
that's a
was
good
good.
thing
It
to
was a
know.
very
You
good
did
experience.
your homework pretty well. In fact, before I come to the last part of this panel discussion, let me quickly share such amazing feedback that we are getting for this live. It's we are getting feedbacks like nice live interaction, good to watch the point of view shared by these diverse cross section panelists. Way to go, panelists! More power to all of you. Tanisha, we are proud of you. We are getting more and more responses. In fact, a couple of questions are there for Sapna, which I'm quickly going to take in a while. Lastly, I'm coming to this the myth part, and I'm sure these all of you mothers and Akanksha here, the mother to be, and of course Sapna as an expert, you will have your own shares of the myths that you have observed or noticed, and would you like to share the reality otherwise? So Vanita, can you share one myth with me as a mother that you would like to tell the readers that okay, this is a myth, this is not a reality?
There's not one. I cannot stop because there's so many. So one is that if the child is crying, that means by default she's hungry, which I don't understand. So what they do? So my doctor told me that the child only knows how to cry. If her diaper is wet, she'll cry. If she has colic, she'll cry. If she wants to be held, she'll cry. If she's hungry, she'll cry. So hunger is not the only reason. Check on the others first and then come to feeding her. So I think that's one. And second is बाल धोए हैं बाल गीले तो बच्चे को feed मत कराओ उसको cold हो जाएगा. So the lot, but then I just
A lot
followed
of them.
my
I'm sure
yeah.
all mothers have something to share, and I think this is a good point. Overfeeding is definitely not the solution. So for
Yeah,
every if the baby is feeling restless, please audience, the mothers are right here and they're telling us that if your baby is feeling restless doesn't mean कि बच्चे को feed चाहिए. आप और भी reasons check कीजिए. हो सकता है कुछ upset tummy हो सकता है कोई और reason हो सकता है the baby wants to sleep and is restless and not able to sleep properly. So yes, Tanisha, it's been a month now. आपने क्या myth और fact share करना चाहेंगी आप? ऐसा कौन सा myth है जो आपने continuously इस 1 month में आपको continuously haunt किया है जिसने, and you know that this is not the reality? Yes, Tanisha.
The biggest one was the breastfeeding one. You must do it, like immediately if it's not coming. And it was also the thing that if you are even if your pediatrician is telling you to give top feed, like in my case, my child had really lost a lot of weight. Don't do it. Don't do it. And at that point, I was like I said, that was a full guilt trip. But other than that, the strangest ones which I saw were, more of a religious thing, like give them honey, like welcome them with honey. When we were all told very clearly, no kind of food should be given to the child till the doctor pediatrician tells. Basically, between after 6 months is what is the time prescribed, right? But then you have honey and you have this and then you welcome the child and all that stuff. So luckily, I'm not a religious person, so I managed to keep it away as much as possible.
घर पे बच्चे को
And
वेलकम करने के लिए उसका मीठा मुंह तो करना ही पड़ेगा. सपना, over to you. What would you like to say here? What are the myths? I'm sure you're the one who has loads to share.
I have loads, and I mean, I might just take another hour, I think, but I'll try to keep it short. I think the most ridiculous one that I've actually come across is the mother is not supposed to drink water till she breastfeeds. So that means if she's feeding for 2 years, she's not supposed to drink water for 2 years. I
Oh
think
my
that's the most
God.
ridiculous thing I've come across. Yeah. And I
Is
was
this even
shocked when I learned of it, and I was
this is
like,
like a bizarre fact. What exactly is it?
yeah, this is rubbish. I'm sorry to use the word, but this is just rubbish. And of course, then, like they said, every time the baby cries, it means you're not making enough milk. I just want to quickly answer to that. It would be, because you would always see that, breastfeeding is like the magic wand to all your problems. So every time, you bring the baby to the breast, the baby's going to calm down. So immediately everybody's like, acha, usko doodh chahiye tha. So it's just very annoying. So of course I'm sure, I feel sorry for all the moms, that they have to go through all of this. Then there's like, there are random people are going to come and press your breast and say, it should flow out like a fountain. And by the time I go see that mother, she's in so much trauma, and she's like, are you also going to press my breast? And I'm like, I don't want to touch you. You're free. So yeah, a lot of things, you should feed all the time. And of course, like she said, wet hair. So, something as
So
simple as
from
that.
bizarre to
So I
funny
think,
to you can clearly see there are
it's
there
crazy. Like you come across a new one every time.
Hetal, so what's the new one which you would like to share here?
I would also like to add to what Sapna just said, because it happened to me. When I went to my gynaec on the second or third day of discharge, and he did that, pressed my breast. It is very violated. Even if it's a doctor, even if it's a woman, it doesn't matter. It feels I felt very violated. I know there was nothing to it, and he was trying to, but that is not the way to do it. That is also, yeah, and it just adds to all the things that you're already going through. And yes, if the milk is coming out patla when you're pumping, that is not good milk. You should throw it away. I was pumping, and there is milk comes out in different ways. First, it is watery, and then it becomes thicker. That is how it is. So you're not supposed to throw anything. Everything is meant for the baby, and everything addresses to a different need in the baby. So just because you're pumping and it comes out watery, it is not to be thrown away. The quality of milk is not bad. Nothing is happening. Just go ahead and do your thing. Don't mess with the
Quite a
body.
valid point
It's
there,
supposed to
Hetal,
be.
that of course, even if you are visiting your doctor, your gynecologist, it's important to take the permission, even if the gynecologist is examining you. That's something. Even if the gynecologist is a woman, I
Yeah.
think a new mom definitely needs to deserves that comfort level. Definitely, that's a valid point here, Hetal.
And you're
And
hurting all over. You're hurting all over. This is the
yes,
last thing you need.
absolutely. Akanksha, over to you. Are you really expecting, or are you really ready with this all this thing coming to you in just a matter of time?
Yeah, I am ready. I am like excited. I am nervous. And I'm just waiting for this new journey to start. And I just want this whole experience to be as smooth as possible. But I'm so glad I'm in this session, and I get to know so many things, because we think like दूध आना तो मतलब एक natural चीज है, हो ही जाएगा. But at times it's not natural, and you need to practice. There needs to be a lactation consultant जो बताए latch कैसे करना है, how do you want to hold your baby in the right position, so that you can latch properly. Your nipples should not crack that much if you're not holding. So there's so much, And there needs to be a lactation consultant for sure. And I'm going to tell my doctor that, please, the consultant should be there so that,
I think
I start
more or
my
less you,
journey.
yeah, more or less I think you all have echoed the same point here, that there has to have an expert guidance and supervision for be it you are a first time mommy, or even if you're a second time mommy. I'm sure Sapna would agree to this, that even if a woman has delivered a baby before, doesn't mean that in the second delivery, because every delivery is a unique experience in itself for the same mom. Yes, lastly, I would like to know, one quick message which you all would like to convey to our audience, to our readers. I'm sure you all can see the screen, the kind of feedback we are getting for this panel. So, on this occasion of World Breastfeeding Day, Vanita, what is your message that you would like to give to our audience?
Listen to your heart, listen to yourself. Just close your ears to everything around. I mean, just do what you feel is right. Breastfeed, bottle feed, mixed feed, top feed, whatever it is. I mean, it should be your decision.
That's a beautiful point here. Let the world not judge you basis on
That's
your
yeah.
preferences and the choices you're making for your baby. You're the new mom, the baby is all yours. So, Vanita is right here with us, who is telling you to stop listening to what the world is telling you. Yes, Sapna, over to you now. What is the message, one quick message that you would like to convey to our live audience? We are live right now with on Facebook page, on YouTube channel, both. Yeah, Sapna.
Right. I think I'm sorry. I'm going to say you said one point. I'm going to say 2 points. One is to all the women. Please trust in yourself. If your body had the capacity to hold the baby for 9 months, it is not going to give up on you when it's time to breastfeed. So please have faith in yourself. And second, for the people around the women, if you want her to breastfeed and do all that you want her to do, maybe support her enough, keep her happy. A happy mother leads to a happy baby.
Beautiful. A happy
Yeah.
mother, definitely. The happiness needs to be there. She's a new mom. She's already enjoying the new phase of her life. So let's be as less judgmental as possible. Over to you, Hetal. Please, your last quick message to our live viewers.
I would say to all women out there, support the other women, new moms, expecting moms. No judgment, just support them in all their decisions and whatever they are doing. It's very important rather than pulling them down. Just support them, and also surround yourself with people who love you and who are ready to support you, because your environment is going to matter to you a lot. It will matter for your mental well-being, which is the base for everything.
Yeah.
So surround yourself with love and support, and be supported. That's very
Very
important.
good, very valid point here, that mental health definitely has a direct impact on your breastfeeding pattern, definitely. So staying positive and lots and lots of love and care around will definitely help you breastfeed your baby properly, the way you always dreamt of. Yes, Akanksha, over to you, the soon mom to be.
I'll say the same thing. Like, at this point of time, like women need the support of other women, or like the husband is always there. Other women just support each other in whatever you choose to breastfeed or to formula feed, whatever. Just don't pull each other down, and just don't like shut your ears and don't listen to myths, and just love your body. It'll, if you're happy, you'll you will be just child just needs a happy mother at the end of the day. You formula feed, you breastfeed, you do anything.
Loving yourself, of course, is the key to
Uh,
happiness and the
that's
key
the
to
first and the
breastfeeding.
foremost
And
thing.
definitely, whether, oh, that's a lovely baby here. So, whether you are keeping your baby on top feed or whether you are feeding the baby, let's not be judgmental. Neither are you a better woman and the other one is a lesser woman. And yes, over to you, Tanisha. The last message we are taking live from Tanisha Chauhan from Bangalore. Yes.
I would like to say that a mother's instinct is very strong. Nothing else matters in the world. Just you and your baby are the most important thing. No social stigma, no religious functions. They are not going to be there with you. What you're holding in your hands is the most precious thing, and enjoy it. It's a beautiful feeling. I think it's the biggest gift that God has given to women, that we can be mothers and we can create life. So let's appreciate that. Let's support each other and spread love. No hate.
Spread love, no hate. And of course, I totally agree to what Tanisha just said, that this is a special gift. You are the chosen ones, and God has given you this special gift. We have lovely, cute babies here. Thank you. Thank you, this lovely panelist here with us on Transformative Today. Thanks for being with us. I can clearly see these are busy moms here. There is a busy expert here, and of course, the mom to be is definitely all set for her planning for tomorrow. So, all the best to you, Akanksha. We
Thank
look
you so
forward to
much.
hear the good news from you. And please take care and enjoy World Breastfeeding Week. Together we are, and of course, together we will succeed. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
Thank
you so
much.
much.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Bye.